Welcome to Must Have Classics, where we restore history one classic at a time. Welcome back to Must Have Classics. I'm Nick, and today's episode is a little bit different than our typical content, as you can probably tell by the background. And for starters, if you can't really hear me well, toddler started school and brought home sickness for everyone. So fun times. So we're all kind of stopped up. But today we are kind of on a rescue mission, as per se, for a car that my wife just ended up inheriting, and it has the makings to possibly be a Holy Grail car. We haven't gotten into too much detail on it, but once we find everything, we'll have a little bit better idea of what we're working with. But walk over here and show you what we're working with and what we're trying to dig out. So kind of see a little bit of it here. I'm gonna watch her step out here in the wild, wild west. So this here is a 67 Mercury Cougar. If you know Cougar's pretty easy to tell, no side marker lights, so it obviously makes it a 67. And I won't get into much history on the car at the moment. I'll let my wife explain that in a minute. But you can see it's kind of buried up out here. Rear axle's gone. Interior is all there, but is full of trash that we'll all get out at some point. And then motor and trans is gone, front end is gone at the moment, but I think it's all out here. I haven't really looked too closely yet. Sorry, still looking around. But overall, the car is in not terrible shape. It could be better, but it is pretty decent. Typical rust and the quarter panels and around the windows, but glass is all there in good shape. And then the important part on what we were talking about making this a possibly Holy Grail car is the VIN tag, which, let's see if I can get a good video clip of it. So the important part is this VIN tag is showing an S code. An S code, of course, is 390 GT, and also shows that transmission code to be a 4-speed manual. And I think we have that motor and transmission over in the building, and that's what we're going to get out first, is that motor and transmission, and then see exactly what it is. I've seen that it's a big block from what I can tell. I haven't been able to see if it's an automatic or a manual attached to it because of where it's at, but I will hand the phone or the camera over to my wife, Heaven, and let her kind of give you a backstory of what we're doing out here and the backstory of the cars while we make the trek over to the barn.
Hi. Bear with me. I don't have much of a voice because our kid got everyone in the house sick. In fact, she got people outside of the house sick. So we're here on my family's ranch, and it started because my grandpa and his siblings grew up near Fort Stockton in the middle of nowhere on a ranch, and they all missed ranch life after they moved to San Angelo. So he got together with two of his siblings, his sister Mary and his brother Eliseo, and they bought this like 40 acreage ranch, and they've slowly turned it into, you know, this little compound where they kept goats, cows, and basically it's them getting to teach their own children and grandchildren what ranch life was like. And unfortunately, his brother Eliseo passed away years ago, and his sister Mary passed away about a week ago at the time of filming this. No, about 2 weeks ago at the time of filming this. So my grandfather is all that's left. And now he's, you know, in the process of trying to figure out what to do with everything here. So I'd heard about this cougar sitting on the land. Everyone at the funeral was telling me stories about Mary having this cougar here on this ranch. And from what I can tell from the stories that I got, bits and pieces, because obviously I was not alive in the 60s, so I couldn't witness this for myself. But her brother Eliseo bought a 67 Cougar. Then her sister Olivia bought a 67 Cougar. And then apparently she said, screw it, I want one too. So she went out and bought herself her own Cougar. And her Cougar is the one that's up on the hill. So now that my grandpa is trying to figure out what to do with all of this, I had just asked what year it was, because I thought it was kind of cool that it was sitting here on the land. And my grandpa said, you want it? Take it. Because this ranch has been here for decades, and there's a lot of scrap metal that's, you know, just sitting here on the land. And he knew that if the car was in my hands, it would get rebuilt. It was going to be pretty again one day, and the goal is to hopefully restore this thing before my grandfather is gone. So that way you can see the car back in its, I don't want to say its original glory. I'm still going to build it the way I want to, but it'll definitely be a moment for him to be able to see the car running and driving again. Now, that being said, this is not the only car here on this ranch. My grandpa had one other request, and he wanted his brother Eliseo's truck to be running again, because it was running and driving when it was parked here in the early 2000s. And I'm gonna leave that one up to Nick, because I'm really just a help here at this point. But hopefully we'll at least get this truck running, so that way my grandpa can see it and maybe get to the point where he can use it to get out here to the ranch. This ranch is about 40 to 45 minutes away from where he lives, so it'd be nice for him to have something good to drive out here. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've gotten out of the story. From what I can tell, my Aunt Mary was ornery. She was a cowgirl. She was stern and gentle. She was tough, but she was so gentle with all of her nieces and her nephews, the kids that she would bring out to the ranch on the weekends to teach them what it was like and how to work hard and do ranch chores and all of that. Unfortunately, I didn't get to experience that with them out here, but I am getting to experience that out here with my grandpa, and I'll take these memories and these experiences with me for the rest of my life. So hopefully I'll have all of this to look back on. And that would be the thunderstorm coming, so I'm gonna go ahead and hand it back to Nick.
So there's a little bit of backstory of the car and all that. Yeah, storms are getting close. So here is where the motor is sitting, and first off, trigger warning if you don't like spiders, because they're definitely out here with us. So if you can see, in there is the motor, and appears to be the transmission attached to it. That's supposed to go to one of the Cougars. We don't know which one. And from where I'm sitting, that sure looks like a big block, not a small block. Hopefully I'm not wrong. We'll find out in a little bit. It's hard to tell from where we're standing. So to get that out, we're gonna have to pull the metal out here off of this, and then be able to use the truck and trailer and hopefully winch it out or do something. So all we can do is get started. So let's see if we can get this motor out. Well, I was wrong. It is not a big block. It is the original 289, because we knew that the door was off one of the other Cougars in the family, which was a 394 speed GT. This one here is the original motor and transmission, which would be a 289C4 for that 67. Still fine. Apparently it had been rebuilt at some point in its life. I have no idea if it even turns over. They had at least 10 over it. So, but it is out without the building falling apart, so at least that's good. So now we'll finish digging this out a little bit more and then get it ready to find a way to get on the trailer, and then we'll move over there and get the car out and then look at some of the other cars on the property. So we'll finish getting this one out and then we'll head over and check in when we're back at the Cougar. Well, there it is, all loaded. We're kind of tired. Do you mind? I'm filming here. He didn't mind. So, motor was a pain to get on the trailer. I think we almost died like, what, 4 or 5 times?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. So, fun times. It's on there upside down because it's about the only way we can get it on there. Get a closer look at the car now. Again, it's rough. I'm not going to say it's not, but it's still definitely a builder. Glass is all pretty much perfect on it, which is nice. So now we've got to make the trek up the hill and out. But before I do, I'll show you a couple other things that are out here. Let me not go around the snake part.
Oh, by the way, she's a girl, not him.
Okay, so she kept interrupting me. Still didn't care. All right. So let's go make the trek up here. I looked at this truck a couple days ago. Oh, not a couple days ago, yesterday. But let's get a better look of it now. So, got this old dent side F-150 out here. It's got to be a 78 or 79 because it has the square headlights. Bed's pretty beat up.
That looks nice.
And then had a problem over here. Not a bad truck. This is one that she was talking about that her grandpa wants to see run. Let's see. And I tried this yesterday. And the motor is free, so it should run. So we'll be back at some point, see if we can get this thing to run. So comment down below if you want to see that video of getting this one to run and drive again. That's going to take some work because it has some stuff living in it. As best we could tell, it's been parked since 03. So I might even throw a battery on it before we leave out here just to see how much it'll turn over. but it's going to be hard to get it to fire off, most likely. And then over on another part is an old Volkswagen Fastback that's been kind of cut up. So that's really about it. I'm not going to make the truck over there to show that because it's a lot of trees and possible snakes and all that to walk around. So, but that'll do it for this episode. This will start that series of getting that car built. And so subscribe if you haven't to check that out. Let us know down in the comments if you want to see that truck get out and running. And I'm not trying to take the thunder of all the revival YouTubers out there, but it is fun to do that kind of stuff every now and then. Check us out on Facebook at Must Have Classics Rawls, RALLS, Instagram Must Have Classics. And as always, get those classics out and do as much as you can, and we'll see you back in the next video. We interrupt this car content to bring some wholesome cow content.